it struck me that it would be quite interesting to try and create a planning timeline about how Horsforth's evolved over maybe the last 10 to 15 years. Lots of the data is there, actually more, going back further than I anticipated, on Leeds Council's website, but being able to access it easily is an issue, so we've had to write a scraper to do that. So I'll hand over to Matt and James to talk about that.
There we go. We started off with a brainstorming session to try and really focus in on what we were trying to do in the time that we had. We knew we wanted some data planning and some mapping, we knew what years we wanted. We did hope to have a timeline, and somehow we would go to certain places and grab various amounts of information, and then ultimately we wanted some way to brand that. So we had a concept, we wanted it to look good, and but somewhere along the way we needed to grab some code as well. The idea was, once we got some data, we would then process it, and ultimately it'd be nice not just to put it on the web, but to send it out to iPhone devices or to put it on Google Earth or something. So I suppose I wanted it to have a longer life than just a website after we'd put all this work into it. So we're going to process it to various sources, and then we thought it would be nice one day if we can give the community the chance to build into our data set as time went on. Just a screenshot there. We started to grab data, and we decided that we'd set ourselves some defined fields of data that we would look to, because it would be coming from all kinds of places in different formats, and we'd pick the bits we wanted and feed them into our system that we were starting to build. I built a database which would take in our data but would also start to process it in different languages, XML for our Google Maps or KML for Google Earth, so that we'd have a longer investment in our data. Did some coding, and ultimately started to map some points and data. We created a dummy data set to start with, while Matthew was working on scraping some real-world data together.
30 seconds left. 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Your turn.
So I think it's fair to say that no one in our group had ever scraped before, so pretty much looked to Julian for a lot of help. And basically he was able to, from the Leeds Gov website, or who's public access, they basically have a record of all the planning that's gone in, and whether or not they've been accepted, approved, they're still like pending, and quite a lot of information there, but obviously it's all like in paginate pages, and which made scraping quite difficult to start with. But Julian managed to get most of the way there. And there are thousands of records, and so basically we've just shown the first sort of 200 that came up. Green show approved, red show not approved, 7 shows like the year, so 2007. As you can imagine, there are millions of these things. And so we pretty much just show, this is just quickly like the brief description of what was being put in for approval, the date, the reference code and the address, and then the read more goes back to further information on the website. That's it.